everybody, and welcome to another action-packed episode of the Everything Went Black podcast. My good friend Bobby Ferry from the band 16 joins us this evening. A few years ago, Tombs and 16 embarked on a tour of the U.S., primarily in the Northeast and partially into the South, I think. It was a lot of fun, and I was a big fan of 16 before going out on that tour. But I got to know Chris and Bobby really well. We all traveled in the same van together. And even back then, we thought it'd be a really good idea for us to do a podcast together. So I took this opportunity, now that they have a new record out called The Lifespan of a Moth, to catch up with Bobby and see what's going on. This episode and every episode is brought to you by Savage Gold Coffee. Right now, I'm in the middle of raising funds for the Savage Gold cold press efforts, hoping to launch a brand new bottled cold press system. So you can head over to the GoFundMe campaign, and if you feel like donating some cash, that would be much appreciated. We also have Datsusara Gear. Datsusara manufactures hemp accessories, stuff like gear bags, gis, grappling shorts, chopsticks, fanny packs, really cool, high-quality hemp gear. So you can go to the portal on the Everything Went Black Media website and click through and check out what they have to offer. Also, my favorite, Onnit. Big, huge user of the Onnit products, and I can't recommend them enough if you're looking to get good supplements, healthy foods, exercise equipment. I mean, a lot of this stuff I'm not even getting a cut on, so but I just love the company so much. Just head on over to the Everything Went Black Media website and check out the portals, and it'll put you onto their store, and you can I urge you to buy something from them. Great products. You can reach me on Facebook at Michael Hill. You can contact me at mike.hill@everythingwentblackmedia.com. I'm on Instagram as Mike Hill Primate, or you can get at me on Twitter at Mike Hill HQ. And away we go.
We got a break from it, but it's been bad here. It's been like the whole place is gonna burn down, like it does in my area of California.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a big thing down there. Those fires.
Yeah. I live kind of inland San Diego, where like maybe 5 years ago, like 1,500 houses burned down. So it's on everybody's mind.
Damn.
It's a tinder, tinderbox with the drought and all that fun shit.
Yeah, fucking. I remember a while back, I was on tour with my old band, and we were supposed to play at that. What's that place that's on the I don't know if it's even there anymore. The Che.
Yeah, the Che Cafe.
The Che Cafe. We were supposed to play there with Phobia, and then there was we got this email from the promoter, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's like the show's canceled because there was like fucking fires, shit's burned up, and like everyone's like afraid of like getting killed in a fire. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're not going to come.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's like a fire tornado will happen, and I mean, it's not a surprise. They see it coming, so you can get the hell out of Dodge.
Have you ever had to like flee town because of this?
Twice, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
Man.
Fucking one time. Maybe like the big one, like the San Diego fires. I was off work for a whole week, dude. The whole fucking place just burned down. Like you could see it. I was staying up all night, and we lived on a border where it was mandatory evacuations, like 2 streets over. And so I just stayed up all night smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, waiting for the evacuations. And they never came, but I was like staying up. I'd look out on the mountain and just see the fire up there and just go, okay, let's go. And then I looked at my homeowner's insurance policy, fucking covered up to like $300 a night for a hotel. so I totally blew it. I could have just gone to the DoubleTree and been chilling out somewhere.
Yeah.
So it didn't even matter. I totally just suffered and put my family at risk like a jackass. I could have just been, I could have just gone downtown by the water and been chilling out.
Damn.
So lesson learned. Lesson learned.
Yeah, that's some like real shit you got to deal with, man. It's like some zombie apocalypse, fucking.
Well, luckily, it's like I said, it's you see it coming. It's seasonal, and it only happens, once a decade, maybe once every 5 years during fire season.
I thought this was happening like every year. You guys are like having shit. No,
at least not around here. I mean, you probably see it on the news, and it's parts of California are on fire.
Okay, yeah.
No.
All right, yeah, that's all right. Okay, now I'm squared away with that now.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys just had a new album come out last month.
Yes, sir.
And you were kind enough to share some of that music with me prior to the release of this record. But yeah, it came out right in July officially.
Yeah, I think July 15th, I believe.
Yeah, and it's kind of quite an interesting title too.
Yeah, we just pulled it from thin air.
There's no like significance to the title of the of the record.
Maybe the temporariness of everything.
Okay, I could dig that. Yeah.
That's everything is fleeting.
I like that. Yeah.
In a geological sense, your problems are bullshit. When you start looking at the Grand Canyon, whatever, your job is bullshit. So something to think about.
Yeah, the lifespan of a moth, because moths don't live very long. I don't know if anyone out there realizes the duration of the lifespan of a moth is, they live and they die basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's meaningless.
And then I guess when you extrapolate over like an infinite timeline, it kind of the human lifespan becomes that of a moth over a long enough timeline.
I love that thing. It's like that we're like, humans' impact on Earth is like, 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Over 100,000 years.
Yeah, because I remember they have that the reboot of Cosmos that had Neil deGrasse Tyson as the host. Did you catch any of those?
Yeah, it's my favorite sleeping pill.
Yeah, dude. I was riveted the whole time, man. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I also that kind of shit. It's like I love all that stuff. And there was like the Earth's 24-hour clock or something like that, and there was like they pretty much our entire history is like in the last like 15 minutes of like the 24-hour clock. So
Yeah, I really like the first Cosmos too.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. What is that? That Blue Dot Carl Sagan poem.
Yeah.
That's kind of like one of my favorite perspective things. I have an Evernote document with all these quotes, and that's definitely one of them. The look at us. We're just like look at that dot. That's home, that's us, everything you love, everything you know, everyone you heard, we're just a tiny blue dot.
Do you think that the copious amounts of weed that Carl Sagan smoked had anything to do with his perspectives?
Most likely, but I think, actually, I don't know. I don't know, because I think I've probably done more than Carl Sagan. Since I live in a modern time where there's more THC available, I think he was just way smarter, way smarter and way deeper, and realized the infinite. When you start thinking about how small, there's a billion stars,
Yeah.
Like I said, like the blue dot, you know, every one you're a mote dust suspended on a sunbeam. You know, I love that the vision of the human future in space that Carl Sagan in Cosmos. But I do love the reboot too, and I love the animation.
Yeah.
But God damn it, if I have never, I put it on at like 10 o'clock at night, and it puts me to sleep every time. I call that show my Ambien. I just fucking fall asleep every time.
Yeah. When I heard that he was taking over the reins of that, I was like really excited about it because I listen to his podcast all the time. That Star Talk podcast.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
Totally.
fun, man. He's an interesting guy. He's like smart. I've read a couple of his books, and he makes science fun, man. That's the thing. It's like, kids these days are preoccupied with like social media and these sort of instant gratitude that the internet gives them. That I think a lot of kids aren't interested in stuff like that. So you need a guy like Neil deGrasse Tyson to, give like a sort of someone you can relate to, like a face that you can relate to and a tone of voice that you can relate to. And, instead of some dry ass dude in a white shirt,
I think that, and he just breaks it down so simply. And yeah, you're right. So relatable. Like I was only interested in that stuff. Like, I mean, I guess, I was, I'm such an idiot. Who's the guy in the wheelchair? What kind of fucking jackass am I?
The guy in the wheelchair?
Yeah, I remember being on like a teenager going on skate trips and buying that book, the brief history of what the fuck was that book called, and trying to get into it, but only within the past say 10 years I've really gotten into science. So it's a later pursuit. Hopefully I can instill in my kid, but weird tangent from the album title that I don't think had anything to do with it. I think we just pulled it. I pulled a line out of Chris's lyrics, and that's how we kind of landed on it. And it has a bunch of bigger meaning, which is always nice.
Just for the record, the guy in the wheelchair is Stephen Hawking.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, the guy the scientist in the wheelchair.
Yes, yes, great. That's real PC of me.
So Chris, I'm assuming Chris writes all the lyrics.
Yeah. He gets free reign there.
That's cool. And and you I'm assuming write the lion's share of the riffing too, and they're like in the band.
I pretty much wrote and demoed all this record on the computer using Cubase and fucking Easy Drummer.
Yeah, you actually turned me on to Easy Drummer, and I've been fucking with it a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's definitely it's a once you get the hang of it, that is, it's pretty pretty intuitive.
It's just one of those things, like just another composition tool. I mean, of course I prefer a real drummer because the flexibility is there. You can get deep into MIDI editing and really play with it. But as far as just jamming and composing, I mean, you could do a riff and a certain time signature, and then you can look at the kick pattern, open the MIDI window, and change it, and then you can kind of tweak the riff a little bit, and then you could just cut and paste things together. It's absolutely bananas. And I'm like late to the party on all this, but I've basically figured it out in the past, say, 3 years, and become proficient maybe in the past 2 years with it, and the whole kind of tune track thing, and then maybe screwed with the Steven Slate stuff too. But geez. And it's just to give people demos of like, hey, here's a song I wrote. Here's how it goes. Here's some drum ideas I had, and then here's one with a click track. It's pretty easy and kind of a no bullshit way to write songs.
Yeah. I mean, do all the guys live in? Oh, you live in San Diego, and some of the guys live in LA, right?
Only Chris lives in LA.
Okay.
So he's like the only member kind of in absentia. The drummer Dion lives here in San Diego, and the bass player Barney lives here in San Diego as well.
Right, but yeah, the lineup prior to this had all three of those guys living in LA, I guess.
Yeah. I successfully restructured. did some corporate restructuring, and migrated everything to make it more convenient for me. Yes.
Well, that's handy because
conveniently so. Yes.
With Tombs, it's like we got 2 guys that live in Philly, and then 3 guys that live here in Brooklyn. Andrew was living in Ithaca, which is like 5 hours away, so that kind of made songwriting kind of difficult to do. And our other guitar player was living in like Northampton, Massachusetts, which is like 6 hours away. And our bass player was living in Philly, so I was like the only guy living here in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like not that that went on for a couple of years, and then things kind of moved on. And now the Charlie, our new drummer, who you saw when we played the show at in San Diego, he lives here in the same neighborhood basically as I do, so we get together all the time to like write songs and work on stuff. And
right on.
Yeah, Fade, our synth player, lives close by too. So
yeah, the latest incarnation of Tombs is the best yet. Fully.
Thank you.
Totally inspiring. I was like, shit. I just like had finished my record, and I was like, God damn it, I need a synth player. I should just can this record.
You're just gonna be like, yeah, Relapse. Like, we finished this and we're done, but we're gonna throw it out and start again. We're gonna
it's just what was the synth player's name? I'm so sorry.
In Tombs?
Yeah.
Fade.
What was it?
Fade.
Fade?
Fade. Yeah.
Jesus, he even has a cool name.
I know, right?
Okay. Yeah. Is that his? Did he name himself, or is that his cool name?
No, that's his cool name. He's German, and he's American, but he was born in Germany. He has like a German passport.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I remember when we were going to Europe with this lineup, I had scans of everyone's passports, and like even his passport photo is cool. It's like for some reason, like he has, I guess, I don't know if in all of Germany you have black and white photos on your passports. But he's got, like,
of course you do.
He's got like this fucking black and white photo. It's like all severe. It looks like, from like a Throbbing Gristle record or something.
That's so awesome.
And his like full name is like Fade, Fedya. Like, but it's easier for less American savages just to call him Fade. And he's got this long Fade Demetrius Erasmus, Kaner, like some cool European name. You know what I mean?
I remember, like I said, we played with his old band. What is it, Batilis?
Yeah, Batilis, yeah.
And they were just crushingly heavy. Oh my God. Samples, the whole nine. It was like totally together.
Yeah.
But this incarnation of Tombs was just a full. I mean, the sound was so much better than anything else on the bill, for sure, because of all the members and how tight you were. So it was great.
Oh, thanks.
It was definitely great.
Yeah, I mean, and we were out there with 1349, who I think are a great band, like black metal band.
Yeah, that's a great show. That was probably a great tour.
Yeah, we're coming out to San Diego again in November. The dates haven't gone up yet, but I think Monday they're going to announce our tour. Us in this band. Wow, it's funny I'm mentioning it now. Us in this band Wolfhammer. I don't know if you've probably heard of them.
Yeah, Wolfhammer.
Yeah, we're doing a pretty much the whole U.S. in November. All that sort of jazz. It'll be cool. Going to
Nice.
San Diego. Yeah, but yeah, the funny thing is, like, and this might sound, like predictable, but like I've always wanted to have like a keyboard player or a synth guy, like electronics noise dude in the band for years, but I was never able to really like, I tried to do it myself, and it just, it was amateurish compared to like having a guy like Fade on board, and It's just like we need to get...
you can only do so much for one, and you don't want to play to a sequencer.
No.
You want a performance element to it.
Yeah.
And it's super hard to find that guy.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, there's like, yeah, exactly. It's like hard to find the right person to add that element to the band, you know. But
who's gonna know what's appropriate? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, and I mean, Fade is like a guy that I've seen around New York for ages. I mean, he used to work at CB's when that place was around, and he's been in a bunch of different bands. He played with Jarbo, like on that last. Remember, like a few years ago, Jarbo was like active. They had a record, and then she went on tour for a while. So he was in the band with her and in her live band. Actually, I don't think he was on the record, but he played live with them. And he's just like one of those guys like I've seen around, and I'm aware of like what his abilities were. And then we ended up being in a like a side project together with some other people, and just like the side project was cool, but it never really went anywhere. And then me, him, and actually Charlie, the drummer, were just like, let's when you guys just join the band, Tombs. Andrew was stepping away because he was moving into his new life that he's moving into now, and so it just all kind of worked out. But so did you record this record yourself too, or did you did some of it yourself?
I think I lost you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're cutting in a little in and out, but.
All right, let me. Am I just stepping away from? Can you hear me better now?
No, it was like chopping in and out.
Okay, all right. So, did you record any of this record yourself, or did you do the whole thing in a different studio?
No, I just did. Like I said, I did all the composition and like full pre-production at home. And then, some of the song intros and stuff were all done at home. And then we went to a studio and did everything organic with no click track.
Oh.
Because everything was kind of mechanized sounding on my demos with all the Easy Drummer and all the MIDI I was doing. And then we went back and had a real drummer do it, which was Dion.
Right.
Because, of course, God knows where I took those loops from on the drums. So we went in and did it at a place called Double Time, Jeff Forrest. It's just a local studio. He's done, the Locust and the Cattle Decapitation. And, back a long time ago, he did like Rocket from the Crypt. He's been in San Diego for, say, 30 years. Kind of a punk studio. He's never been a metal guy. He's not a real digital or direct studio at all. So the drums were recorded live with no click. There was times where, I wanted something laid down with a click, but it sounded kind of mechanized, and I would grid out. We'd look at Dion on the grid, and he was right in it anyways, and he knew that he wanted to lay back on certain parts, and I think the proof's in the pudding. When you listen to the record, it has a feel.
Yeah, definitely.
And like all the classic records, I like all the classic punk records and all the classic hardcore records I like. And, of course, all the classic rock records I like were not done to a metronome or a click at all. So I really wanted to – and if you're on like, Spotify is my primary means now. If it's not vinyl, it's Spotify. And every single thing, if you listen to like the new heavy metal, it is just mechanized, Pro Tools, clicked, chopped, sampled drums. And it's just over and over perfection, digital, sterile, and then it's like finally you hear somebody who stands out from those playlists. Because, I'll be at work and I'll just turn on the new whatever, the new metal whatever, just as background noise, as white noise. And every single metal song, double bass, whatever, are these gridded mathematical performances that are barely human.
Well, they
And
literally aren't, because in most cases, all that stuff is like edited around and like the hits are corrected and
well, if they're even corrected at all, or if they're laid down with the, like I said, the Stephen Slade or the, I mean, I'm probably, like I said, I'm an amateur when it comes to that, but they were probably done 100% digital anyways,
yeah,
you know. So I wanted like that feel, that kind of old school feel on this record,
right,
and I think we got it. You know,
yeah,
there's some, like I say, like there's a few mistakes here and there, but I like to say those are our tiny little middle fingers throughout the record. If there's an off hit or a symbol here, then those are your little fuck offs. You know.
did
So.
you record any of this analog, or all was done?
No, no. It's really hard to find. He does
Yeah,
have a 2-inch tape machine, but dude, 2-inch tape is fucking expensive
yeah, absolutely,
and
man.
like really hard to find.
Yeah, that would have been cool though, right? To like to have record
Yeah,
some of
well, I
that.
mean, a lot of our other records are done that way.
Yeah,
Like I'd say the good portion of our discography is 2-inch analog. And we did some of our early mastering at like a Capitol mastering with this guy named Mark Schlecke that was some kind of analog as well. But, it's expensive. I mean, I even remember doing we wanted to do a reverse reverb vocal effect
oh yeah,
where they were like cutting and using Scotch tape and flipping over the tape. And we were actually cutting tape with reverb and flipping it over and remembering where they were and putting it in. So you can hear that on our early 16 records. But no, it's still into Pro Tools, but there's no heavy editing at all. No, and in fact, because there's no drum editing, that got us away from the grid. So you can't really edit much if you're not on the grid.
yeah, it's true. Otherwise, it's out of time a little bit here and
Exactly.
there.
So, it would have made a bunch of stuff easy. So we just had to hammer it out to get the feel like, okay, this take was it. And that was it. And then we all had to build around that.
Well, you guys
Yeah.
always had more like when I listen to 16, I hear the Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin kind of like maybe like COC or something like that. Like a bluesier kind of vibe to what you guys do.
I mean,
It's not necessarily like double kick and blast beats like all the way through. So it really does lend itself to have like some of it behind the beat and everything.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a stretch for us. But when thinking about a new record and, budget and how to do things as fast and as quick and dirty as possible, everyone you talk to is like, just do it direct and do it on a grid and do it to a click and we can edit this. And I just don't think it would have worked for us. I think we would have flopped.
Yeah.
I think we would have lost what little magic we have, you know.
When did 16 form, man? I mean, you guys have been around in one form or another for like 20 years, I think, right?
25 in
25.
1991.
91. Damn, I didn't
Yeah,
even think it was that long
yeah,
ago. Damn.
yeah. So we were like, I don't know, I might have been like 19 with a fake ID going to shows in Long Beach and in LA on the first wave of AMREP bands. So like Cows, Jesus Lizard, maybe the first John Spencer Blues Explosion. First, I remember Unsane when they toured in a Cadillac. I had a fake ID. I was just a kid. And, I saw Tar Jackson. So that first wave of AMREP bands was like a big, and of course the Sub Pop bands in like 89
Like
and
Tad.
88, Soundgarden, Mudhoney, and Nirvana Bleach, even though I didn't get to, I mean, I saw Nirvana back then. And Sonic Youth and Screaming Trees and all that. But that was, that was and from there, before that was, hardcore, the Black Flag and Rollins Band, Rollins band was a huge thing for me. I used to go see Rollins speak when I was in high school. I had a fake ID. I had a real ID. We had a ring in our high school of fake birth certificates. So we got this is before the thumbprints. So we had a friend's mom who worked at a birth center at Anaheim General Hospital. So one of our friends stole an official stamp. And then another friend who took graphic design, we took graphic design in high school. We made birth certificates, and then we had an official stamp. So then we went and we made fake birth certificates, and we were selling them to people, and we had a full ring going on.
Dude, that's some balls, man.
We all had fake IDs and fake driver's licenses when we were like 16 years old that said we were like 23 years old.
Holy shit, man. Isn't that like a federal crime or something like that? Like, isn't that like...
statute of limitations. I can say it, and it was, and it I didn't go out and get wasted. I was able to go to all these shows. I saw Soundgarden at the Whiskey on the Louder Than Love tour. My car got towed. I parked illegally. My parents were super stoked on that. But I was able to start going to all these shows with these fake IDs. And I was skateboarding at the time too, so I was getting all these trespassing tickets for like skating pools, and I just fucking rack up a bunch of fines and tickets on one identity and just throw it away. Just get a new identity and fuck off. It was awesome. But
you can never do that these days.
We started the band back then under that kind of pretense of just going to these shows all the time. Under the first wave of AMREP bands was really going to Jabberjaw in LA. LA in that time was before the riots. It was a kind of a simmering, dangerous place. And,
that Jabberjaw had those series of 7-inches that they put out, or like, I don't know if they put them out, but there was like a series of 7-inches that had their compilation, like similar to the Dope Guns and Fucking AMREP comps that came out. It was like,
yeah, some of our first shows were at Jabberjaw.
Yeah.
So some of the very first 16 shows were ever at Jabberjaw.
Yeah, that was a cool spot, man. Like back then.
Yeah. I saw a lot of really good shows there, and a lot of kind of what taught me about the whole aesthetics of playing guitar. It didn't really. All the people I liked didn't have really much technical ability, but they just really played like they meant it.
Did you check out that Amphetamine Reptile documentary that's out now? Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's pretty damn good, man.
Of all people, I really should.
Yeah, I was hip to that right away, man. That's like, like similar to you. That was like the second most important thing musically to happen to me in my life was like the AMREP stuff, because like the prior to that, I would say like SST had like the biggest impact on my life, like when I was like in high school and like in my teens. And then
I would have to say that too. Like, remember when tapes were a thing? Yeah,
totally.
And you had the tape player in your car in your house. Like, dude, every tape I had was SST all throughout high school.
Yeah, like Husker Du, Black Flag, Minutemen, like all that stuff.
Every single tape, like if SST put it out, I'd buy it.
That's pretty much how I was. And there was like there was a record store. Like, I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in a town called Carmel, New York, which is closer to the Connecticut border. And Danbury, Connecticut was a town. And there was a record store in Danbury called Trash American Style that a lot of East Coast, band people like loved that place because it was like on the way between like Boston and New York City. And, in the 80s, like Connecticut had like a big hardcore scene. There was a place called the Anthrax Club. And so, it wasn't so unusual for there to be a great record store in like Connecticut, which is for the most part a wasteland, actually, really. It's like Connecticut's like half-assed New England, not really New England. It's not really New York. It's just this like wasteland of like, bedroom communities and whatnot. And that the guy who ran that, Malcolm, was like all about SST Records and Charles Manson and Henry Rollins and all that sort of stuff. And that was like, at that young age, like getting into that stuff was like probably the biggest significant cultural thing I could have done. And it wasn't until the AMREP stuff came out and they had an equally big impact on my life. It was that early stuff too.
And I remember seeing I saw a spoken word at this place in Santa Monica called McCabe's Guitar Shop, and it was Rollins, Jim Carroll, and Hubert Selby.
Oh shit!
And it's at a place that maybe holds 40 people, and I was in high school. And Jim Carroll had this whole bit about it was a comedy bit about having pubic lice or crabs so bad that him and his girlfriend would put out big pieces of white paper and race them and have pubic lice races. But I remember getting there early, because it was like a big deal to see Rollins. And, there was maybe 30 people there to see. It was just no big deal. And Rollins gets off the bus with a backpack on. And we said something to him. I mean, we were just kids. And we're like, hey, Henry Rollins, he takes the city bus. And he's like, well, what the fuck? You think I take the Bon Jovi Learjet, kid? I remember him saying that to me. I'm like, oh, you're so cool.
I think there's a live recording from that Matt McCabe's place, I believe. I think that there's a release of one of those performances, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty epic spot. McCabe's Guitar Shop was pretty epic for the spoken word.
Yeah, it's funny because I have most of those like spoken word records or CDs or whatever, and there was like live at McCabe's, and I guess that must be the place. In my mind, it was like a venue, like that held like 500 people, but I guess it's like a little tiny shop with like 40-person capacity,
Yeah, I mean, it was like it was on Pico, and it's nice now, but back then, before the LA riots, dude, Pico and the 10 freeway was not nice. So it was like kind of, from white kids from the beach community, we were like just entering a different world. We were just like tourists.
Have you
tourists?
There's a book that came out called Disco's Dead, Murders In. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of it, but I've never read it.
Feral House put it out. It's like basically a memoir of this
guy, the gangs, right?
Frank the Shank. And I got like 30 pages left. It's like pretty fucked up, man. I mean, I've experienced gang like punk rock gang culture out here on the East Coast, but it seems like the West Coast and LA in particular, like it was on a whole other level out there during the 80s.
That was kind of for real. Like there was a place called Fender's Ballroom in Long Beach. I saw Bad Brains. I saw Agnostic Front. It was a place to see hardcore shows, and it was definitely a scary spot because Long Beach was a big gang. I mean, because it was a big gang city anyways. So when and there was a heavily violent scene anyways, but when I remember one gang in particular called the Lads, which were called the LA Death Squad.
Yeah, they write about it in the book.
They were always at shows, and they would just basically beat the whole place up. I remember being at one show at Fender's, and I think it was Bad Brains on the Eye Against Eye tour, which was just Bad Brains at their height, at the Reseda Country Club. And it was Bad Brains just at their height of power. It might have been Bad Brains and Leeway.
Oh, yeah, that was a tour. Yep.
Yeah, it was just fucking amazing. And just real sketchy scene, like just real Los Angeles, East LA gang members. At least I remember it. real, the threat and the real violence. I mean, I had gotten jumped a few times back then. Just get your head kicked in for nothing, just no reason at all. just, just get either knocked out and kicked, 100 ways sideways for no reason. So you're like, great. One summer I got fucking jumped because I was skating at some place, which I was so smart. We used to skate a spot in the LA River, which is, a real safe spot to skate. So we'd skate this bank inside the LA River, and like a bunch of dudes roll up on us, and this dude, and I'm like, when you have a skateboard with you, they call it your ghetto pass, because you're like, nah, no one will bother the skaters. And again, this is before the riots, where like LA was just a simmering cesspool. And it was just boiling. And these guys come up to us, and they're just like, "Did you paint that?" And he looks over and he points at a swastika, and I'm like, "Uh-oh." And that's the last thing I remember, to be honest with you, because I was like just nearly kicked to death. And I woke up later, and I was fine. Like I got like knocked out, but I was like, I don't know, someone came, or I don't know, I was just, they just like got bored. I don't know, and I was knocked unconscious, and I was pretty fine. My shirt was torn. I was kind of bruised, but I was not fucked up at all. So I was basically got my ass kicked for being white. Okay. Later on that summer, I was with my black friend, who's this pro skater named Ray Barbie. And this is actually in the Vans book. And me and Ray Barbie and a couple other people roll up to this show in Huntington Beach for this band called HFL. They were called Hard, Fast, and Loud. And I don't know, we were like in Huntington Beach skating somewhere anyways. And Ray's black, and he's like one of the most famous black pro skaters of all time. And we roll up into the show because we're like, hey, there's a show going on. Let's go to the show. And it's full of Nazi skinheads. And they come up to us and automatically are going to jump us. And so we're like, awesome, let's get the fuck out of here. So we start running from Nazi skinheads. And yeah, so in the same summer, I was on different ends of the race spectrum terror.
So the first group of guys that beat you up were black gentlemen that beat you up?
Hispanic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And they're just
Hispanic. So yes, I was beat up because definitely because we were white, and then the next gentlemen were Nazi skinheads because we were with a black guy. We were beat up because we were with a black guy. So yeah, good times in the summer of love.
You couldn't win that summer, I guess.
No, definitely. But as all things happened, I think the city finally burnt down in the LA riots, and as with all riots, the crime rate went down, and it's just been hunky dory ever since.
Speaking of riots in Los Angeles, did you check out that O.J. Simpson mockumentary, or whatever the hell you want to call it, that People versus O.J. with Cuba Gooding Jr. playing O.J. Simpson?
I didn't.
Dude.
I didn't. I heard the 30 by 30 is even better though. The Sports Illustrated or the ESPN one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that came up. I saw that. I watched the trailer for that. Actually, it looks pretty good. But it's funny. Because I remember that time very vividly, and it just seemed like the most surreal thing that this guy O.J. Simpson, who was a football star, he was in Airplane. I mean, when you say O.J. Simpson, I think of him in Airplane. I don't think of him as like a decapitator of women or anything like that. But
fucking brutal,
dude. I'd forgot. You kind of, as time goes by, the details of that murder sort of get glossed over a little bit. You don't really remember the gruesomeness of what actually transpired in that.
Of how he fucking decapitated and disemboweled two people.
Yeah, dude, it's like on par with the Tate LaBianca murders, man. It's crazy. you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the bloody mess that it all was. We were actually 16 was on tour in Japan when that happened. We had went to Japan with the artist Pusshead.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy story. Pusshead had put out our record Curves That Kick, and we were playing LA to like 15 people, and Toys Factory, the record label, put out Curves That Kick, so we didn't even know we had a real record label there. And I guess it sold well enough for us to be flown out there and to tour.
Wow.
And so here we are in Tokyo. We play like 2 or 3 shows at this place, the Shinjuku Loft. We play in, to like 200, 300 people. It's crazy with our first album. And then we're sitting there in the hotel, in culture shock anyways, as like, people who have never left America. And people who have never played to more than 20 people ever at Jabberjaw. And then we see this, the High Speed Chase. And we're like, OJ? This is crazy. This is just all too surreal. But yeah, that dude, I mean, he's in jail now under something that, you or me would get probation for, probably.
Oh, yeah, man. Because, like, yeah, I mean, the outcome of that trial, like, so much of it had to do with, like, not wanting to get LA burned down again by, like, rioters, And then, like, it's, fucking karmically, I guess, the pendulum swung the other way on OJ. And they were just waiting to throw the book at him for something, to get his comeuppance.
Do you know that he had a reality show after that?
After he was acquitted of the murders?
Uh-huh. Yeah, dude, look it up. It's fucked up. And it was like where OJ plays practical jokes on people.
That's got to be like some pretty off-color shit, man, honestly. I mean, because like there was like such a division, and there were people who, in my opinion, rightly so, believed he decapitated, Nicole, and then he has this fucking lighthearted reality show afterwards.
Dude, it was a prank show called Juiced.
Juiced.
Yeah.
I have to look that up, man.
It's not good.
No, I'm sure it's not good. I just want to see like maybe on YouTube like an excerpt or something of it.
It was like a punked spin-off, but yeah. Are you guys doing any European touring?
Probably next year. Our last European tour was a fucking disaster, man. Like we went over there with Black Anvil last year, and we played Roadburn, which was great, And
yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, that was fucking amazing. But that had nothing to do with the guy who booked the tour, though. We were booked by this pretty big agency over there, and the guy that I guess some fucking kid from the mailroom or whatever graduated up to becoming an agent. So he ended up booking our tour, probably at the same time getting coffee for everyone else in the office. So he completely fucked that tour up, man. It was horrible. We almost didn't we almost didn't even make it to Roadburn. We almost didn't make it to the UK because our work permits were never sorted out, and it was a fucking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. I mean, morale was pretty low on that tour, but we made the best of it. And so now we're actually signing to a new label and getting a new agent over in Europe, and to changing up the crew a little bit, moving forward.
When's all that gonna transpire?
Well, we signed a Metal Blade, and so that should be fun.
Nice.
And then we're gonna record the new album in January. And that's going to be down in Florida with Eric Rutan again.
Nice.
And, we're doing this tour in November, and then there's a couple of things that Ron, our mutual friend Ron Martinez, who, we work with as a booking agent, he is investigating some opportunities for next year. You know, and
I've actually signed on with Tone Deaf.
really,
Yeah.
you know what though? Honestly, they there's what's your agent's name? Jake or something like that? Is that his name?
Yeah, Jake at
That
Tone
guy's
Deaf.
really good, man. He books 1349.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job on that tour. I mean, that everyone speaks really highly of that guy, so I back that completely. I think that was cool.
Well, I just, for one, I mean, we're not the most road active.
Yeah.
So I realize we're probably a hard sell for Ron. And for two, we easily team up better with their roster.
With Tone Deaf's roster?
Yeah. Yeah.
I only really know, I think he books Vatnet Viscar, 1349. And who else?
Yeah, Trap Them. I think
okay.
Woe Fat. I mean, he's got a bunch of people
Cool.
that Young and In the Way.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw them a few times.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. Metal Blade's a good home for you guys.
I think so. I mean, I'm nothing against Relapse. I mean, I had nothing but really good experiences working with those guys. I mean, I actually am a little sad that we're not re-signing to them or moving over to Season of Mist because, you know, Gordon's the guy over at Seasons now.
Yeah.
And I liked keeping it like, you know, New York, Philly kind of thing, you know, like East Coast, like tri-state area kind of vibe. But, you know, it's a different opportunity to work with a label like Metal Blade, you know, which I think is like, you know, a different type of resources and that kind of stuff.
Well, I think too, it's like you're just covering, like you've covered the base of Relapse so well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you've covered, like, to speak in the cheesiest demographic business terms, you know, you've already covered the angle that Relapse can cover for you, and it's time to branch.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And Metal Blade has got this cool lineage too.
Oh, dude, the fucking King Diamond, Merciful Fate, Metallica, like fucking, you know, yeah, it's like they were around during the thrash era. They put out so many great records too, and like, you know, it's pretty cool. You know,
I think the heroes of Metal Blade are Goat Whore.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, yeah, those
Goat
guys.
Whore
Yeah,
is the fucking hardest working band in metal. I don't know them. I don't even know people who know them. I might know people who know them, but their records don't fuck around ever.
No. Yeah, they come to fucking kill you, man.
They keep getting better every time, like, and yeah, they keep getting better every time. They're on the road all the time.
They are, 100%. They are, man. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I know Sammy, the guitar player, and Ben, the singer. I don't really know any of the other guys in the band well.
Yeah,
they're really nice guys, dude. Like really nice guys, and yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Like. Rutan records their records too, and that's actually how I got to meet Sammy because I had some like guitar. I needed some guidance on some guitar stuff, you know, like recording wise, and he was like, you know, more than happy to point me in the right direction on some stuff like regarding pickups and things like that. So,
are you guys when I don't know if you're going to include all this on the podcast, but I don't care if you do. When you record with Rutan, because I love Rutan's work.
Right? Oh
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, he can do no wrong. In fact, Rutan makes me like bands.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
And I hate to say, like, I hate to be one of those guys because I was never really into Madball. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of people.
Dude, you don't gotta make those disclaimers to me, man.
That's just not my bag.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's just not my bag. However, when he did the record that Infiltrate the System, I think it's called, with Rutan, dude, that record rules because of Eric Rutan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he played a couple of tracks when we were down there, and it sounded great. I mean, my thing with Madball, it's like, I give them, like, props because they operate like a professional band. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of clownery going on out here in like the New York hardcore realm.
Yeah.
And they're not one of the bands that are involved in stuff like that. It's like, you know, as far as like being professional, like going out there and really being a band and like touring Europe and like hitting the States and like doing things that like Sick of It All is another band too. That's, you know, just doing the damn thing. Like they're doing the thing the way it should be done. You know, there's no bullshit.
Yeah, dude. I think it's the Madball Empire that he did, and all the Goat Whore records that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Eric Rutan as a producer. Like I said, he makes me like the band.
Yeah,
he's one of those producers.
Well, you know, there's only a few guys out there who understand how to record like fast drums, you know, and he's definitely one of them. And I think that's primarily why we wanted to work with him. Like we worked with him on Savage Gold, and my whole thing was like, yeah, the fast drumming, like everything you have to be able to hear everything instead of just like this wash of like snare and stuff, you know.
And Andrew's work on that is just stellar.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm sure, you know, he put a lot of time and effort into it, and emotionally it wasn't the best setting for him either, because his mom had literally passed away like weeks before we started recording that record too. And
yeah, I went through the same thing with my dad, cancer, same kind of deal.
It's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, literally just kind of like died in my arms.
That's horrible. But I'm sorry to hear that.
It's, you know, it is the inevitable part of life.
Yeah, it is definitely.
You know, that we all have coming. But as far as all his drums were done organically, and then it was resampled, or did he?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he tracked all the drums, and then like, you know, there's like a little, you know,
fix this here, fix that there,
and also just like it's not. I'm not gonna say the word triggers, but there's like like sound reinforcement, meaning like just to make the kick drums like pop a little bit more. There's like there's the actual drum, and then like a little bit of a sample in there to make it like punch.
Like the either like the slate or something.
Yeah, it's not just like you know, electronic drums and fucking triggers. Like when you listen to like Pantera or something like that, you know, it's like a typewriter. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's not that at all. It's like real drums and like just a little I mean, that's what I'm saying about Rutan. Is like he understands like the art of recording fast drums and double kick and blast beats and all that sort of stuff. And you know, and that was the height of like Andrew's infatuation with playing fast. I think, you know, it was on that record. So at least in tunes, you know. So that was cool.
How many are you guys going for? Like shorter or longer songs? What are you guys doing?
It's pretty much all over the map, really. I mean, it's like a lot of it's similar to the stuff that came out on the EP that we did earlier this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the songs aren't as fast. Like there's like less like, you know, fast songs on there, and it's a little bit more. I'm not going to say atmospheric, but like more like mid-tempo, like kind of like Celtic Frost and like Triptykon style tempos, like that kind of vibe. You know, just like, yeah, like a lot of double kick, but like more laid back sounding, I guess. You know, not as like over the top with like the blast beats and stuff.
I got this crazy goal to start work. Well, I have been start working on like everything is like under 4 minutes.
I like that. Definitely.
Yeah, because like this record, I like everything is like 4 to, or most of the songs are 6 to 8 minutes. Some of them, I really packed a lot of riffs in some of these songs, so I wanna bring it back around and just try to craft these like 3:30 to 4 minute songs.
That's pretty cool, man. Like you know, more like not like a pop sensibility, but like they're like, you know, rock and roll songs. Like they're fucking.
That's kind of like what I've been doing. Like at least, you know, like if I work on new shit, I just, you know, I've been trying to like get to the point. Don't fucking bore us. Get to the chorus. You know, like you know, watch watch my key changes, of course, but like I want to keep things compact and I really want to work on my arrangements. I think my riffs are always. I think I've developed that skill good enough.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure.
But I think my arrangements need some tightening up and to cut the shit. So I've been trying to hey, there's no need to do this 12 times.
Yeah, dude, totally. That's a shortcoming that a lot of people fall into, is beating the shit out of particular riffs and just,
Yeah, man. 4 to 8, you're done. Just get to it. Move on.
Yeah. The only band that can do that is like Helmet sometimes, in the early Helmet records. They would just take that one riff and just beat it into the ground. And there have been a million bands that have tried to do the same thing, but they don't have the same power that band had.
I think, well, they did it because they were there first.
Yeah, totally.
And you only get to be there first.
Yeah.
It's too bad about Helmet.
Oh, dude, after Meantime was it for me, man. Even Betty, I didn't really care for. It's the stuff they did on Amarep was great. Meantime was cool, and then Betty was some of it was good, some of it wasn't so good, and then after
and that was it.
I just totally lost interest in them after that. I mean, we actually got offered a tour with them a few years ago, and I was just is anyone even going to go?
I know.
I mean, they were still banging it out with Paige Hamilton and I don't know, Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot or something was playing bass. I don't know, something like that.
Dude, they did that one for Interscope. It was big production, and it was Frank Bello from Anthrax.
Oh yeah,
and John Tempesta. And when John Tempesta played with Testament,
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of John Tempesta.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I think John Tempesta is a fucking amazing drummer, man. Well, John, I think so. John Tempesta played on that album Size Matters, and there's definitely some moments on it. If someone could remix or just re-edit that album. Someone should just re-edit that album. Maybe I should do it.
Yeah, you should do it, man.
Just fucking re-edit Helmet Size Matters to the best riffs so it's listenable, and take out all those fucking horrible choruses.
Well, it's funny you talk about Testament, man. There's always the big four in thrash, and Anthrax is always included on that list.
Yeah,
dude, fucking Testament should be there instead of Anthrax, in my opinion.
Dude, I love Testament.
Yeah, dude, they were a solid, awesome band, and I think Anthrax, and this is a very unpopular opinion to have, especially in the location that I'm talking from, here in New York.
Yeah,
Anthrax were fucking cut rate, man, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I'm you know what? I'm not a fan of Anthrax at all, and because of mid-range in the guitar.
Okay.
And when there's too much mid-range in the guitar.
Yeah.
And and I don't know why, I do not know why, but Testament always did it for me. The Legacy, I mean, dude, I listen to the new shit.
Oh, dude, the new shit's great.
Fuck yeah.
Totally, man.
Oh my God. Testament. I just did this interview for Terrorizer.
Yeah.
And they're like, how long do you continue doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. How old is Testament? Because they're making the best albums of their career.
Yeah.
And they seem, those guys are 15 years older than me.
Oh, yeah. They're older dudes.
Yeah.
You should have told the guy, why don't you go fuck yourself? That's what you should have said to him.
I know, huh? Why are you asking?
Well, you asked, how long are you going to be a fucking douchebag and ask douchebag questions like that to people? You fuck.
No, it was Jose. That guy's cool.
Oh, all right. Okay.
He was like, how long do you think you can do this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Look at Testament, because they still rule. Well,
yeah, dude.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
The Gathering, everything. To quote The Office, I celebrate their whole cast.
Yeah, man. Totally. Yeah, that's The Gathering we listen to that in the van a lot. Actually, you know what's a good completely not a Testament record, but I just started appreciating Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden.
Fear of the Dark.
Yeah.
That's, you know what's weird?
That's like a later
I'm
one.
fucking 43 years old, and I was clearly in the hardcore and in the punk camp my whole life.
Yeah.
And the metalers were the enemy, you know, how, because I come from you're around the same age as me, that, you know, those were the jocks and those were the metalheads and whatever. And so my crossover happened in my 30s. You know, like I got into Slayer. I mean, we got to play with Slayer.
Really?
Holy shit. At 16, got to play with Slayer.
Wow.
On not on God Hates Us All. Look at me, I'm such a jackass. I don't even know when my own band played with Slayer. And it's an awesome Slayer record.
Christ Inversion?
No, it was about 1993.
Oh, all right. So it was like 1993. That wasn't.
It's a fucking pissed record, dude. Divine Intervention.
Oh, Divine. Yeah, it had the dude from the other guy.
Bostaph.
Bostaph. Yeah, Pete Bostaph.
Yeah, we played like 3 dates. We played Las Vegas. We played Bakersfield. There's like videos on YouTube of us opening up for them. That song Ditto Head is fucking amazing, dude.
Slayer still manages to do it too, man. Like we were talking about guys like getting older and still just crushing, you know?
Yeah, dude. But back to Testament, they still fucking kill.
Yeah. Oh, totally, man. They're
Eric
making great
Peterson
records.
is a fucking amazing musician and riff writer. So what are you saying about was it Fear of the Dark?
Yeah, it's like our drummer Charlie's like really into a lot of like the metal records, like by bands that of their later catalog, which a lot of times those records get overlooked by unless you're like a hardcore fan. Like, you know, for me, Iron Maiden, I really only really like the Paul Di'Anno records, and you know, I like Bruce Dickinson, but the Killers and the self-titled Maiden records are like, that's the jam. When I listen to Maiden, I listen to Killers. I don't listen to, you know, whatever fucking you know, the later shit. Like I don't listen to Number of the Beast. I listen to Killers. Charlie, you know, one day we were driving, we were leaving like Pittsburgh or something, and he put on Fear of the Dark, and it's like a lot of it's like kind of like more dynamic shit, like clean guitar and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is really cool. But then like really technical and like musically proficient too. And I'm like, wow, this is like pretty cool stuff. You know, so
God, Steve Harris though, come on, man.
Oh yeah, that guy,
God.
Unbelievable. You know, but
yeah, he doesn't fuck around.
I saw Slayer last summer actually at the, you know, every year they do that Mayhem Fest, I think it's called, and it's like, you know, like one of those like rock star energy drink, you know, there's like fucking 20 bands on the bill, but this year it was King Diamond and Slayer, or last year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and so I went down to Jersey, the PNC Arts Center there, off the Jersey Turnpike, and or the Garden State Parkway, excuse me, Jersey guys out there listening. And they were great, but what stuck out the most in their set was actually the clean singing of Tom Araya. And it was like, you know how like on every Slayer record there's like the songs there's like they have like they're not ballads, but there's like they're slower, there's like some clean singing, and those are the ones you kind of like, all right, cool, you know, these are cool, but I'm not really gonna, you know, go off as hard when these songs are playing, you know. But that live setting when I saw them the last time, those were the ones that stuck out. Were the ones that were like more like there's like a vibe, clean vocals, and I was like, wow, this is, like I finally understood, I think, what they were going for in those songs. You know.
Dude, are you talking about like Seasons in the Abyss? The song Seasons in the Abyss?
Exactly. You know, that kind of stuff. Like it's like mid-tempo. There's like clean vocals. It's not like blazing, like, you know, like Rain and Blood or something like that, you know.
Dude, the song Seasons in the Abyss and the song off the Undisputed Attitude, the covers album, the song Gemini.
Yeah, Fuck yeah.
That's like one of my favorite Slayer songs is that song Gemini.
Yeah.
And that's like a total sacrilege thing I have too. That,
But yeah, they're just moodier. There's like a moody like vibe to them, and when they played them live, it totally caught that mood. I was like, wow, now I understand why they wrote these songs. It was cool, you know.
Oh, they can like capture the vibe to 6,000 people.
Yeah, but I think like there's something about like capturing that on a record that maybe fell a little short than hearing them do it live. You know, and that's all I'm saying. And you know, I mean, I love.
I think it's has to do too with the expectation too. It's those songs were always placed last. I think there's an interview too that to quote Kerry King was every song or every album gets one pussy song. Some recent interview with him. And if you look back, everything like they have one like purposely hooky kind of you're right, the Slayer version of the ballad.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a ballad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like, it's slower, it's moodier, that kind of thing.
Another one of the big four that I could just never be sold on except for one album was Megadeth too.
Amen, dude. I am. And which record by them do you like?
The Hanger one, whatever that fucking thing is.
Oh,
the blue one.
Yeah, the blue one.
I don't even know what it's called. Like, I just am not I don't know, man. Not, it came out in high school, and I just remember all those assholes who were into them. Was it? God damn it! What is that? Rust in Peace.
Rust in Peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never a big fan of Megadeth either. I like select songs like Peace Sells. I think it's cool. Like, I can appreciate some of the playing on those records. And I think that's really their big contribution to thrash metal was like that level of musicianship that they brought. But they just didn't. The lyrics I thought were fucking stupid on every goddamn song that Mustaine wrote. He wrote ridiculous fucking lyrics. I thought.
The riffs on Take No Prisoners were the musicianship and the riffs are amazing. But give me a break on those lyrics. Yeah, and again, I could never get past the cultural my own bias of you guys are the enemy.
Oh yeah, we got the metalheads. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the wrong scene.
I think
it's those that whole shit. It runs deep.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, I was definitely I have to say I'm more of a metalhead than a punker or whatever, a hardcore guy. But I mean, the reason why it's like I grew up listening to metal. And like the kids that I grew up with that listen to metal were all like these like wasters, like dudes who are like, smoking cigarettes and getting their girlfriends pregnant and driving around in like fucking Camaros and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Driving Camaros and shit.
Yeah, like they're not really like and I definitely didn't fit in with those guys either. But the power of the music is like what really got me, and then. What turned me on to punk was hearing Black Coffee by Black Flag. And I was like, oh shit, this is like fast Black Sabbath. And that's when I started my, road into oblivion with like listening to hardcore and getting into the, that whole thing. And then, then Circle Jerks, Bad Brains,
I was such a brainless kid that it's like I would read interviews with Henry Rollins telling me that Thin Lizzy was cool, and then and Black Sabbath was cool, and then I would be like, oh, so it's okay to like this.
There's a lot of that too, man, for sure. That's actually how I got into Beasts of Bourbon, that band Beasts of Bourbon. Have you ever checked them out?
What was it called?
Beasts of Bourbon. They're like an Australian.
Bourbon.
Yeah, Beasts of Bourbon. I've
never heard of them.
Oh, dude. They're like an Australian rock band, which I read about them in like one of Rollins's tour books that he had out, and it was like, oh, this band sounds cool. It's like they're basically if you took AC/DC and like the Rolling Stones and maybe the Cramps and like kind of cross-pollinated all three of those. That's kind of what they sound like, with like a little bit of like a Nick Cave kind of vibe with the vocals. And
dude, again, music rules. I'm 43 and I'm just hearing this now.
Dude, every record is great by them. Look them up go on YouTube, like later tonight or whatever. Go check them out on YouTube. It's like they have
I'm just looking at it right now on fucking on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's probably on Spotify too or whatever, like probably all that stuff. But actually it's funny when coincidentally there's a live album called The Low Road, which they cover Ride On by AC/DC and Cocksucker Blues by the Rolling Stones. So there you go. That's the the Rolling Stones sort of connection, Rolling Stones, AC/DC kind of thing.
Rad.
But I love those. There's like some about Australians, like Australian rock music, like.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, like fucking, Nick Cave, Beast Suburban, the Cosmic Psychos, Lubricated Goat, like all those bands. There's like, even though none of those bands sound alike, there's some thread of attitude between all those bands that's the same,
There's something about Australian people too, because all the pro skaters I know that are Australian are all exceptional in their ability and their courage and their attitude.
Yeah, it's a wild country.
And
man.
and the pro surfers too. There's something about Australian people. I don't know what it is.
It's funny that going back to that AmRep documentary, there's actually some pretty good interview footage with Stu Spasm from Lubricated Goat.
I was gonna say from Lubricated Goat.
Yeah, who and they that was a band I was way into back then, just because the name.
Rose Tattoo too.
Oh yeah, there you go, man. Nice Boys.
Yeah,
Rose Tattoo is another band. That's Yeah, there's just something. There's like a hooligan like vibe of that all those bands just have. Like even Nick Cave, like there's like this hooligan birthday. Even the birthday part is that the dude with the mustache.
Oh, fucking Radio Birdman.
Yeah, dude. It's like they're just.
Have you ever been to Australia?
No, never. I've never been to Japan either, bro. Never.
Dude, I just got back. I just took my family to Portland.
Portland,
just like
Oregon.
some crazy like, what do you want to do for vacation? I'm like, let's just go here. Let's just go to Portland now. Let's just go here. and it turned out totally epic. Like
you liked it.
Waterfalls. Like we went on, every hike. We went on a hike where we saw like the West Coast largest waterfall here. We went to this waterfall, this waterfall, this waterfall, this outlaw skate park, this place, all in like 2 days. Just rented a car, flew up there, just punked it. But, just kind of went for it. I don't think I got the budget to punk it and go to Australia, though, with that kind of airfare.
Dude, that's like a journey, too, man. That's like a 23 that actually, isn't that like a 30-hour plane ride or something like that? Flight?
27 hours or something. It's supposed to, like, really fuck you up, too.
I don't doubt it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure that can't be good for you, like, physically, to do that.
No, I'm always out of sorts, too, so, So have you been training at all?
Oh yeah, a lot actually. I just I switched gyms. I'm working out at this place called the Physical Culture Collective, and they have it's mostly a Muay Thai camp, and but they also do like all that kind of like kettlebell, body weight, pushing sleds and shit like that, and they have like a small like jiu-jitsu program there too. But I've been training like pretty much 4 days a week at least. Sometimes like today I trained for 2 hours. Yesterday I trained Tuesday I trained for 2 hours. Today it was like it was fucking so unbearably hot and humid that I finished like the first Muay Thai session at noon, and Zach, the coach, he's like, we have an odd number of guys for the clinching session. You want to just do a few rounds, and I'm like, yeah, all right, few rounds. Fucking hour later, I'm like walking out of the place, and I'm just like, was been like pissing yellow like all goddamn afternoon, man, just trying to get my hydration back,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still doing powerlifting.
Yeah,
And,
you looked fucking like broad when I saw you the last time, man. Like doing like.
I'm actually I'm way thinner now. I've probably lost maybe 15 pounds.
Oh, cool.
So body weight because I've been fucking eating like I should be, but
Good.
I've been I hit it like 4 times a week with a full strength and conditioning coach.
Nice. That's awesome.
So
Are you doing like
been,
Olympic style shit too, or just like powerlifting?
Yeah, Oli's just really difficult. But I do these crazy dude. There's some Olympic lifting complexes. There's ones where you just hold the bar for 45 minutes.
Wow.
So the bar is 45 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's called positioning. So there's a Wednesday we do positioning with Olympic lifting, where you just hold the bar for 45 minutes straight. So you
45 minutes.
get in a half squat, and then hold the bar in position number 1, and then go up, and then do your shrug, and then do that like 15 or 20 times, and then do an overhead squat, and then do what's called a squat sot press, and then do all these different things. You're never putting the bar down.
Wow.
Ever. So you're on fucking fire. But it builds your endurance crazy. Yeah.
You know what I always found really interesting about like that type of lifting is like, yes, it definitely requires strength, but the technique that it requires too, and like the sort of neurological like coordination of your body to move this like weight through space time. You know what I mean?
It's totally maddening. It's totally difficult. I liken it to fucking ballet or something. Yeah. Like it's like, you know, I mean, I grew up skateboarding, so there's like so many similarities to skateboarding between it, because you know, to do a kickflip takes just as much effort as it does to do a good snatch, and then when you got a certain amount of weight, like I can't really snatch that much. I mean, I can for a novice. I'm a total novice.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just do the, you know, those crazy complexes. You know, the fucking yesterday I did the. Do you ever do those? It's like a CrossFit workout, a high intensity thing. I do the a slam ball.
Oh yeah.
Jump rope, rope, and then burpees.
Yeah.
And you only give yourself 10 seconds rest between each movement, and then you do 5 minutes total, and then you try to do that for 3 sets. And then when you're done, you run a quarter mile, and then you fucking barf.
Yeah, we do stuff like that, and just like not the quarter mile run, but like the
a sprint or something.
Yeah, sprints. Yeah, sprints. You do all that shit.
Or the sled, or those goddamn sleds.
Yeah. Actually, I do that like one day a week. There's like a morning like semi-private that I do with these guys, and it's usually like 3 or 4 dudes, and
that's what I do. It's supposed to be a whole class, but only 3 of us show up.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is like, you know, we all agreed to go at a certain time, and you know, whatever, and it's cool, but it's like it's all circuits, you know. So you're pushing the sled, you're doing planks, and you know,
yeah, exactly,
doing kettlebells and fucking, you know, like you're hanging and doing pull-ups and all that kind of shit. You know, it's like fucking strength shit, strength and conditioning. Then after that, I do an hour of Muay Thai, which is fucking brutal.
That's what I don't do that I think I should do.
Yeah.
Like I just do the strength and conditioning, and that's my workout. So I don't do anything. You know, I do strength and conditioning, or like kind of powerlifting, like a squat heavy day or a bench day, or an Olympic lifting day. But I don't, and I got all this time on my hands because you know I work.
Yeah, of course.
My kid's 13. He's either at the skate park all the time. My wife is a busy lady. She wants nothing to do with me. You know, it's like I got like 2 hours a day where I either sit around playing guitar or like just kind of like, I guess I'll go back to the gym. I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
I guess I'll not use drugs, you know?
Yeah, well, that's, you know, that's a good thing, and, you know, I guess.
Well,
like
yeah.
Hard
you know,
drugs,
I'm at that
least.
stage where I know I'm not gonna use drugs. So I'm gonna, I've been thinking about jujitsu, but then everyone's like, oh, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to hurt yourself because I've gotten so many injuries. I'm actually taking a little bit of an extended break from doing jujitsu because
Dude,
fractured.
I'm like 2 shoulder surgeries deep.
Yeah, dude.
I
Fractured my ankle and I was pretty much out of condition, out of commission for like almost 3 months.
So everybody who rolls jujitsu, even at a basic level, you're gonna hurt yourself.
You're going to get a joint problem. You're going to get, I mean, I love doing it, but it's like, I love Muay Thai more than jiu-jitsu. And like, I was like so bummed that
Muay Thai is probably a little bit realistic workout at my age.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is about Muay Thai is like you don't have to spar with anybody if you don't want to. You can just go there and like learn the movement and like kick pads and,
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to like actually get, into like a fighting kind of scenario, you don't have to spar. You can comfortably just get the great workout, But, I like sparring and all that. I mean, I like doing all that stuff too. But but in jiu-jitsu, it's like that's half of what you're doing is like sparring with somebody,
And anything can happen by accident.
And it's more dangerous at the beginner level because
you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Well, and the other guy doesn't know what he's doing. That's like the worst part about it. Like when I fractured my ankle, it wasn't against like some high level dude. It was like the coach he was like, I want you to work with this guy because he's only been training for like 4 months, and he's like, go easy. And I'm like, all right, fine. So we're going easy. This dude's going like, full on and no technique at all, and totally just going for it. Just yeah. And like, I told him, I said, "Hey man, let's go easy. We'll flow and actually work on technique, and then like he just fucking destroyed my ankle and like kind of fucked me up for a few months."
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. I mean, this is basically the fucking one of the capitals of the world for training here.
Yeah, the San Diego, LA area. There's probably tons of places, man.
Dude, there's Black House and Arena Gym all on my way home from work.
See, there you go, man. Isn't there like a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu down in San Diego too?
There's also a 10th Planet walking distance from my work.
Oh, nice.
And you know who Jocko Willenick is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude, his gym. Those fucking savages are out there at like 4 a.m. too.
Yeah. I can't do it that early, man. I can't. Like 8:30 is about the earliest that I can start exercising, honestly. That's about it for me. I can't, like, if those guys who get up at 5 a.m. to go running, I just.
No, I'm not that guy. I'm an after work guy.
Yeah, I like midday is good for me, but like that too early.
I can barely get to work on time.
So hey, next weekend is the big UFC 202, man. What do you think of that?
No shit, dude. I'm totally. I got Diaz, of course.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
definitely...
come on, you can't stop that boxing.
Yeah.
Apparently, McGregor's spent $300,000 preparing for this fight.
Okay.
I don't know what that means or can get you.
I don't know either, man. It's like you can't buy time on the mat because that's really what he needs. It's like, I mean, honestly, people are saying it now too that like his jiu-jitsu game isn't bad. It's pretty good, but it's not nearly as good as either one of the Diaz brothers who have been doing it their whole life.
I just don't understand the weight class.
No, that's
clearly.
Neither one of those guys are welterweights. One guy competes at featherweight, and one guy, though Nate has had some welterweight bouts, is a lightweight. He's a 155er.
The press is just gold with Nate, though. I mean, it is just gold.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it that what is there? There's no title fight in this whole thing, but the press when they interview Nate is just, Well, I mean, what is some of the quotes like? Conor got his ass beat.
Yeah.
just or you know playing grab ass in the park and shit.
Oh,
Whatever he
there's
said
like
to
his
him.
movement coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Just pure gold.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to the press just because I'm like, I read about everything else, but whenever I see McGregor, I just look the other way because I just can't stand that fucking guy anymore.
Yeah. I mean, luckily it's been they haven't been hitting it that hard.
Yeah.
That last fight was funny as shit, though.
Oh yeah, dude. And it's funny because I was watching the Chuck Liddell Iceman documentary that was on UFC Fight Pass earlier, and back then, man, I kind of liked things better back then. I think, you know, like the fighters were fucking cooler, and like when they created, they were doing an interim title when Tito was like injured, where Chuck had to fight Randy Couture, who was coming down. They brought him down because he, you know, 2-time heavyweight champion. They brought him down to light heavyweight to give some legitimacy to the interim title. You know?
Well, I mean, come on, the pay-per-view and the numbers. I mean, now it's its own giant economy.
Yeah. You know?
I mean, they just sold that business for $4 billion.
Yeah, but you know the belts and the fucking matches and these interim titles, none of this shit means anything anymore, and that's the thing I guess I'm speaking to, you know, for me.
Yeah. But it will be. When is it? Is it? It's
Saturday.
Not this Saturday.
It's next Saturday.
Right?
Yeah. There's a couple other good fights on that card too. CM Punk is fighting.
That's got to be. I mean, from what everybody says, his training's been kind of a joke.
Dude,
I don't really understand the whole WADA testing either.
Yeah, I don't really get it either because it seems like I actually don't even know enough about it to really talk intelligently about it, but it just seems like there should be a definitive list of things that you can't take in supplement form, and I don't know if anyone's paying attention or what the deal is, but
I'll speak intelligently about it because I take that shit.
What do you the HGH or something or steroids or whatever?
Yes and yes.
Oh really?
No, I don't take HGH, but I take testosterone for sure. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at someone who, you know, I abused opiates until my, you know, early 30s. So my body doesn't make much testosterone. I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, I think you told me this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I, you know, I was having these joint problems and shit. So, you know, like my body wasn't healing. And I got it tested, and my testosterone was like 170. So I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? So I just went and got on TRT, and life is better.
Yeah, well, but you actually have a deficiency. You're not just, you know, like.
Yeah, but you know, and it turns out like that deficiency is just being in your 40s.
Yeah.
But and being really stupid earlier in my life,
right?
You know, and I paid the price by fucking wrecking my endocrine system with hard drugs. But what these guys are doing, I mean, Brock Lesnar was on an estradiol or you know, Clomid. That's just an estrogen blocker.
Yeah.
All I can say is that, you know, I took a lot of stuff from GNC and trying to make myself feel better until I got my labs done and said, oh my God, that's the problem.
Oh shit.
You know, you know, and then it's just like a real quick, easy fix. And yeah, you got to control your estrogen, but you know, I mean, I just think when there's that much money involved in any sport, like, have you ever seen that Bigger, Faster, Stronger?
Oh yeah, I love that documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like taking fish oil, to be honest with you, unless you're doing superhuman doses. And then if you're doing superhuman doses, you got superhuman side effects, and then you're fucking things up again.
Yeah.
So, but personally, I don't have anything bad to say about TRT or low dose because Jesus Christ, what do you want to feel like garbage?
Nah, dude. I mean, I don't. I just said it's not. You're not involved in a competitive sport. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, on one hand, I can see like if you were, there's money on the line and you're in a competition with somebody that though it's not a level playing field, in the sense that you guys aren't taking the exact same stuff. But then again, your physiologies aren't the same either. So.
I think, like that whole thing with like cycling, you can't do an endurance sport like that without something like that, without destroying yourself.
Well, actually, it's funny you mention that because the guy that owns the gym that I train at, he's like, yeah, he used to fight professionally, like in kickboxing, and he was just like, everyone was taking something. He's like, I used to take Anadrol, and like, it's like it's naive to think that. Because you're doing like 6-week fight camps, 2 or 3 workouts a day. Like it's not even like you're trying to get bigger. It's just so you fucking recover.
It has nothing to do with getting bigger. It has everything to do with surviving and recovering and healing.
Yeah.
And I would say the majority of people who train at any of these gyms are on something like that. Just because of that reason alone.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's like, show me the health risks. Well, there aren't really much.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that documentary, and there's really, I got no problem with it, man. I just think, that there's a rule that they have, and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it comes down to basic sportsmanship, though.
Yeah.
You can't be on. I mean, those guys are taking EPO, which gives you an unfair cardio advantage to beat someone to death.
Mm-hmm.
How is that fair?
Yeah. We're not riding bikes or like hitting balls out of the fucking park. You know what I mean? This is like
I mean,
busting someone's
obviously
head
in the combat sports, that's fucked up.
Yeah, totally. Like you saw what happened to Cyborg, man, and that.
Oh my god, dude!
That made me sick to my stomach when I saw that, dude.
And talk about what is that CTS? Oh, really? You think getting your fucking head caved in?
That dude is gonna come back and fight, man. That's crazy.
That is, dude. That guy's gonna have Parkinson's.
Like next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna have Parkinson's by Christmas.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Yeah, Michael Venom Page. That was the guy he was fighting.
What was that? Like a knee to the head?
Yeah, it was a knee to the head, and it was just brutal, man. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, man. That's like... It literally made me sick to my stomach when I saw that. The photo of the dent.
I didn't see. Was that on a Friday Night Bellator?
Yeah, it was on a Bellator, like a Friday night fight.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I gotta start taping those.
Yeah, dude. I like Bellator, man. Like, it's funny. People like talk a little shit about some of the, like Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie and stuff like that. I kind of like those, man. I think they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun, man.
Fucking Ken Shamrock's solid shit.
I love Ken Shamrock, dude. He's such a. I wonder why I actually like Ken Shamrock, but I fucking like him, man. I don't know when the last time he won a fight was either, but I still fucking dig Ken Shamrock.
I think it's the magic of the old UFC.
Yeah.
And talk about drugs.
Oh yeah, dude.
HGH, look at that forehead.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Big time, man.
That is someone who's not straight edge. But then again, he wouldn't still be doing it if it wasn't for that shit.
Yeah. He's like in his 50s, man. And
exactly.
He looks fucking awesome. Also, I think he was in like a bare knuckle boxing match too, like in England or something like that. Or he either was going to, and then he signed a contract to fight Kimbo, like, and that was that Bellator that happened like last year, and it was like.
I wonder if Kimbo's health condition had anything to do with kind of steroid or HGH.
There's really nothing connecting those things.
HGH can cause enlarged organs and can cause enlarged hearts.
Okay.
But you know, I mean, I, knowing nothing about anything except bro science, would be speculating. So, but you know,
Yeah, I like Kimbo, man. I like really was shocked to hear when he died, and I just
that was
thought,
a bummer.
yeah, it was a total bummer, man. He seemed like a fucking really cool guy, and I used to like watching him fight, and like, you know, he's a guy who pulled himself up out of like, you know, pretty dire circumstance and made something out of himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was from Miami. Miami's fucking rugged.
Yeah, yeah. So is what's his name there? Jorge Masvidal. He's from down there too, I think. He was
Yeah,
a,
it's
he
a
was
different country.
yeah, he was like another one of those like backyard like brawler guys, you know. I don't know if I'm right, but I also believe that Alex Caceres was another guy who was in a few of those fights too, those YouTube fights.
Have you seen that movie Dogfight?
Of course I have. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's some shit, man.
It was definitely interesting and like a little depressing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's just I mean, the poverty's driving the whole situation,
Yeah, totally.
and it's tragic. I mean, I spent every summer in Miami. My dad was from there, so I spent every summer in Miami. Fucking, he worked construction, so sometimes we worked in those neighborhoods.
Right.
And I think, crime always goes up in the summer, and it's just always miserable there.
It's always summertime down there, man. It's always like fucking, hot and cooking people's brains, man. Miami.
It's just violence and heat.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. But
yeah, it's definitely, you feel like you're in another country when you're down there, which is what makes it a cool city,
Yeah, I fucking dig, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, hopefully we should tour this album. I mean, we have the budget. I think this record's doing like, the reviews have been really like phenomenal. I'm kind of like surprised.
I'm not surprised. The fucking record's good, man.
God damn it, it could have been better.
Well, that's how everyone says the same shit, man.
I know. Making these records is what it's like, cramming 2 pounds of shit in a 1 pound sack. But I'm really surprised by the positive response. I mean, like, we've gotten so much goddamn press. I've done so many interviews. We've gotten so many magazine articles, so much shit, and so many positive reviews. I just need to score a decent tour or punk it and just go do it on our own, we got the budget to make it happen. I got the time.
You know what's fucked up? It's like we're going out there in November to your area, and like Ron, I don't know why I mean, it would have been cool if you guys could have played at least a couple of those shows with us.
I don't know. Tell him to hit us up.
I'll call
we'll do it.
I
mean, fucking Wolfhammer. We'll do it for cheap.
No, don't say that, dude. I don't want you to do it for cheap, but I want, I would love for you guys to play some of those shows.
Getting or renting a van's no big deal.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Even if it was just like L.A. and San Diego, like that'd be 90 miles.
Yeah. Tell him to hit us up.
Yeah. How long have you known Ron?
Since like 1990.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
I know Ron through Pusshead.
Really?
Yeah, Pusshead put out Final Conflict records too, on the same label.
Right, and that's how you met Ron.
Yeah, I started hitting up the guy Jake because Ron just didn't return my emails. Like, I was trying to hook up something for this album, and Ron just wasn't responding to me.
That it's funny. There's that Decline of Western Civilization Part 3. I don't know if you're aware of that, the existence of that film.
Yeah, Angela.
Yeah, Ron's in that.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yep. There's footage of Final Conflict, and Ron Martinez is front and center singing on stage. Yeah.
Rad.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, Ron's a cool guy.
Oh yeah, Ron's great, man.
Fucking super busy. I mean, I've actually only used him for the tour we did with you guys, and he's hooked me up through the years with shows when he worked at Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're a hard band to book and probably hard to deal with, or actually to deal with at all, since you know. But and I haven't. We probably just need to go out there and headline. I mean, we're playing with the Storm of Light.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the month, and then we're flying to Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm playing this thing called the Liver Fest.
The Liver Fest.
Yeah, with The Body and Full of Hell.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know the Full of Hell guys. That's
so like some weird festival put on by like the guy from Rewake, CT.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the end of the month, we're gonna fly out to Little Rock and play this festival. You know, just making enough to pay for the flights. But I want to go to Graceland anyways. So.
You know, that The Body and Full of Hell, that they did this collaborative record that's, I don't know if it's out yet or not, but this tour is them performing that record together. I think that's the show that it's crazy. Like we're headlining this festival. They fucking have us headlining this festival there in Little Rock. And they're playing, and then after we're playing, there's a fucking fireworks display. I know. It's the most bizarre thing ever. It sounds dangerous as shit. Yeah. That's, that should be interesting, man. Little Rock. Little Rock's another dangerous town.
Yeah, this is like a camp out thing, the Liver Fest. Oh. So it's this guy from that band Sea Hag puts it on, and I don't know, you know, they already sold a couple hundred tickets. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, fuck it, man. We're playing an outdoor camp out thing next month called Shadow Woods Festival in Maryland.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm going to be, in addition to Tombs merchandise, I'm going to be selling Savage Gold Cold Press at that show.
Oh, dude. Speaking of which,
yeah,
that fucking Nitro Cold Press.
Yeah.
Are you fucking with that at all?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do?
Well, that's what I mean, if I can get the whole thing off the ground, that's what I want to do. But like what I'm doing in that festival is just like, you know, just getting like a toddy bucket and making cold press and, you know, selling it by the cup, you know, not the Nitro is where it's at though, man. Definitely.
I just got, I got this stuff called Lucky Jack.
Lucky Jack. I never even heard of that.
Okay, they make a nitro cold brew, Lucky Jack. It might be here on the West Coast only.
Yeah.
It's got 7 calories, like no carbs. It's organic. It's just coffee in a can or in a bottle with a little, you know, it's a nitro. I don't know. There must be like 200 milligrams of caffeine.
This things jack you up, man. I know for sure.
Used as a pre-workout, it's out of control. It's almost too much for me.
When we played that Psycho California thing last year, they Stumptown had this like nitro on tap thing just for the backstage area, like green room areas.
Yeah.
And I drank like fucking 5 of those shits, and I felt like I was like, you know, my heart was going to explode or something. It was like definitely too much, man.
We went to the Stumptown in Portland a few weeks ago too, like the place, the original Stumptown place.
Yeah.
It's almost too much, man.
Yes.
It's almost too much. I don't know. I mean, the cold brew is the way to go though, because it's way less acidic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it feels better. It feels cleaner. I don't know what the nitro thing is, but it's almost too strong for little old me.
Yeah, the nitro stuff's cool, but it's like you're doing like a fucking Red Bull or something like that. It's like some kind of like really fucking intense, like it's like a trucker fucking drink or something, you know?
Dude, I do not need to do that much cardio. That's all I'm saying. I don't need to do that many burpees or hill sprints. I don't need to do that shit. But, well, shit, man. I think you got it all.
All right, cool. Right on, dude. So, just once again, the record's out, and if people want to check you guys out, you guys on Facebook and like Instagram and fucking Twitter and all that bullshit.
16 Band Facebook. Look us up at Relapse. Fucking buy the vinyl so it'll sell out.
Hell yeah.
Buy something so we can continue doing this 25 years. And, we'll tour. We'll continue. We always do. We'll fucking continue. I'm working on it right now. We'll do a full U.S. thing soon. I'm obviously got my shit together. So,
do me a favor, man.
Loosely got it together.
Send me your, I think I have your address, but send me your address anyway, and I'll send you a little care package of my, espresso and all this other shit that I got coming out.
Yeah, I've been meaning to order. I donated though.
I know, I saw that, and I thank you very much for that, man. It's like that's all going towards this cold press, bottled cold press thing that I'm working on.
Yeah, make it happen, man. Cold press is the way to go. That's the new drugs.
Yeah, the new drugs.
It definitely is, man. The fucking cold press is definitely the new drugs. So, right on, Mike.
All right, dude. I'll see you in a couple months, man, when I'm out there.
Yeah. All right, take care.